I'm Chris with iPhone in Canada. Now, of course, Apple is done with its keynote for WWDC 2014, and I did meant to bring you this video a little bit sooner, but I have kids, and if you have kids, you know that anything and everything can happen, so I got a little bit distracted. So I'm going to bring you my thoughts and reaction to the keynote address, and I think having an actual couple days extra to kind of go over things is really good. It gives me a chance to really go over my thoughts and really look at what I enjoyed and what I didn't enjoy about the keynote. But I'm going to bring you some of my thoughts on some of the things that were announced for OS X Yosemite and, of course, iOS 8. So let's start with the Mac operating system. First of all, it's really starting to look like iOS. If you're a big iOS user, you will notice this change, and this is a good thing. It's starting to become more uniform across the entire Apple product line. Now, of course, you're going to have some differences between a Mac operating system and iOS, but Apple is doing a really good job of bringing them together. So if you are an iOS user, you should have no problems transitioning to Mac operating system and vice versa. You're going to see in the backgrounds a little bit more transparency. If you're used to iOS, you'll know what I'm talking about. The typography, it's all going to be very similar and uniform, the same, so it kind of looks the same. One of the key things that Apple did touch on was Spotlight. When you go click on the little magnifying loop there, it's going to bring it up in the middle of the screen. You can do your search, and it's not only going to search your computer, it's going to search the web, so it's going to search iTunes, it's going to search the App Store, and it'll bring up all sorts of search results from there. You'll be able to buy apps, songs, and do different searches throughout the web. So that's really cool. Another thing is markup. Now what this is you say you have a picture or a document, you'll be able to edit it right there. You're going to be able to add your signature to a document, and you'll be able to send it off real quick. There are apps that do that right now, but Apple is building this right into their operating system. Say you have a picture and you want to draw a little arrow to something on that picture, you want to add a text or a speech bubble. Again, you'll be able to do it right from in the operating system. You do not need a third-party app, and I'm really excited to try that. I very often want to add some text or a little arrow or something on my pictures, or even sign something. I mean, that's really, really cool. There are times I want to do that, and now I'll be able to do that all within the Mac OS X Yosemite. I don't have to use any third-party apps. So that's really cool. Another key feature is handoff. Say I'm working on a script right here on my computer for one of these videos, then I have to take off, say I have to go somewhere, I have to go to work, or I get distracted. I'll be able to pick up with my iOS device. I'll be able to pick up right where I left off, continue working on that. So it's just a seamless transition. A really good feature. The continuity is right there, just overall improving the workflow. Of course, there are a lot of other improvements, but those are just the ones that I wanted to touch on, the ones that I am really excited to give a try. And we will be getting this update in the fall. Again, it's pretty vague, but that's pretty much the regular timeline. And it is going to be free. So kudos to Apple for keeping these upgrades free. But let's move on to iOS 8. There are a lot of features here that I'm really excited. So let's go over some of those. Quick replies, long overdue. So I'm using an app, all of a sudden I get a text message, I get that notification, I no longer have to exit the app, go into messages, and do a reply. Now I'll be able to swipe down, do a quick reply, send it off, continue using the app as I was. Also, this will work in the lock screen, and it is also going to work for third-party apps, such as Facebook. So somebody posts on your timeline, they comment on a photo, you can quickly reply and like from within the quick replies. We're also going to have video and audio messaging. So say you don't want to type out a message, or you want to quickly show somebody a quick little video, you'll just be able to tap on the screen, record the audio message, the video, take a picture, and quickly send it like that. Now when the person gets that, they listen to it, they see it, it will be deleted from their device. You can change that in the settings so that it doesn't get deleted automatically. I'm not sure if you'll be able to set a timeline for when it gets deleted, but that's really cool. And then what that does is just, it's helping you with your storage. You don't want those stored on your phone or your iPad for very long because it does start to take up a lot of space. We also have Quick Type. Now what Quick Type is It's very similar to what you may be used to on other mobile platforms if you have used, though. It's going to auto-predict upcoming words. Apple says it'll also learn your speaking patterns to your various contacts. So if you're talking with friends and family, your speech will be, a little bit more casual, so it'll understand that. And you'll start to see the casual words come up with the words that it is suggesting. But if you are chatting with somebody from work, you want that conversation to be a little bit more formal. So again, when it's predicting those words, it'll understand who you're talking to within your contacts, and those predictive words will be different. I'll be interested to see how well it works in real life. Again, Apple sometimes has these grand ideas, and they may not work for everybody all the time. But again, I'm really excited to give that a try. Third-party keyboards. Now, I can't say that I'm overly excited about this, but what this is it's showing that Apple is becoming a little bit more open. For a long time, people have always complained that the Apple ecosystem is closed, but Apple starting to become a little bit more open. They're going to allow third-party developers to let us choose different keyboards. Again, more choice is better. The more choices you have, the better. So again, I'm excited that the fact that Apple is opening up a little bit. We're going to see if this continues and if they open it up to other things. And actually they are opening it up, and I'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about Siri. Siri is getting better and better as we move along through the different iOS operating system changes and upgrades. This time, you no longer have to hold down the home button to talk to Siri. You'll just be able to pick it up and go, "Hey Siri," and of course then you'll be able to ask Siri your question, or she'll be able to help you out get whatever information you're looking for. Again, this is very similar to other mobile platforms. I know Apple's playing a little bit of catch up here. It's very similar to Google now, but again, a really cool feature that I'm really excited to start trying. Touch ID. Again, this is where Apple's becoming a little bit more open. Touch ID now being opened up to third-party apps. So instead of having to store your passwords, remember your passwords, say I'm using PayPal, just use the Touch ID and it'll unlock it. It'll input my password and I'll be able to just quickly go into that, pay for things. Again, that should work with eBay, Amazon, and whatever apps decide to take advantage of that. So basically your passwords. Another cool feature that was rumored and Apple is delivering is HomeKit. So with HomeKit, what you're able to do is you're able to pair your devices with your locks, your lights, your thermostat and such. Anything that you've added that helps make a smart home for you. And what this will be able to do is you'll be able to use Siri and say, the example that Apple used during the keynote was, hey, it's bedtime. So what this would do would be to turn off your lights, make sure your doors are locked, that your garage is closed. So Apple is partnering with people making those type of smart home devices. Now, interestingly enough, when they showed the picture on the screen of who they are partnering with, Nest wasn't on there. And as you know, I have the Nest thermostat, I have the Nest smoke detector. I really hope that they will be able to work with Nest and get Nest involved with this, but I do know that there is a bit of friction maybe because Google did buy Nest. But again, I'm really hoping that Nest will be part of that because I really don't want to have to go out and buy a new thermostat and such just so that I can have it all integrated. But I do really like the idea of having it all integrated. I love the idea of being able to use Siri to control all of that. So I'm really excited to try that out. Apple did touch on its upcoming health app. Now what this does is much like HomeKit. So say you have your Jawbone up or your Fitbit Flex. What this does is it'll compile all that data into one single app. No longer are you going to have to go through your various apps to check your calories, to check your heart rate, to check your sleep and such. Of course, to input things like calories, you're likely still going to have to go into those apps. But if you want to take a look at what your progress is or how many calories, steps and such, you'll be able to just go into the one app and it'll be all right there for you. You'll also be able to share that data with your doctor and such. It'll be interesting to see how many physicians and clinics and hospitals take advantage of that, but they'll be able to monitor patients like heart rate and such like that. You have complete control over what you want to share. So that's really cool. And I think this does lead into the iWatch, the rumored iWatch that's supposed to be coming out this year. I think Apple will integrate all those kind of features into it. So you, again, it's going to have one stop where you'll be able to go see all that information. And lastly, for me, the other big announcement was a family sharing. This to me is the biggest, best thing that they announced during the keynote. If you have a family and you all have your iOS devices, you know, you can either set it all up as everybody has their own account and they have your iTunes cards, and you may have access to your credit card, but with this, up to 6 people can share. So you'll be able to share your music, your books, your apps, your videos, everything. 6 people be able to just download it whenever they want. There is also the security feature. As the parent, you'll be able to set up, everybody's able to use the one credit card, but you can set it up so that you get a notification. So say your kid is trying to buy an app or an in-app purchase, and you'll be able to, yes, allow them to do that, or no, they cannot do that. So no longer do parents have to worry about kids racking up their in-app purchases, racking up that credit card, thousands of dollars. Of course, this will have to be activated. This will have to be set up. So you will have to do that. But once it is, it should be a lot of security, so you don't have to worry about those in-app purchases. Along with the family sharing, you'll also be able to set up like a photo album. So say you're on a family vacation, but you aren't all doing the same thing at once. One kid's off taking pictures somewhere else, you're off taking pictures. No longer do you have to bring them into your computer and then put them all together. You'll just be able to look at them through your computer on your iOS device. They'll all just be right there in real time so you can see them. As well, you'll be able to track your kids, where they are, where their phones are if they've lost them. And of course, you can also turn that off if you don't want them to see where you are as well. But the family sharing to me is a really big feature. I'm really excited about that with 2 little kids as they grow up and they have iOS devices and products. This feature to me is really cool. Now, those are just some of the key points that I was really interested in with this keynote. There is a lot more. If you want more information, go check out iPhoneinCanada.ca. We have a huge write-up on everything that was announced during the keynote. We have some stuff that wasn't announced during the keynote, but Apple has shown on their website, or they show it on the screen when they were doing the keynote. There is a lot of goodies that they just could not touch on. They may focus on some of those things when they announce the new iPhone, the new iPad, or they may not. They just might be there and they'll be hidden goodies for you to find. So there's a lot of information. Go check out iPhoneinCanada.ca again. Very comprehensive overlook of what was announced during the keynote. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. It does help me grow this channel. Feel free to subscribe. That way you're not going to miss any of my future videos. And again, any Apple news, iOS news, check out iPhoneinCanada.ca. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.